Hello, Host CRM Dev here, and another video. Today we're going to be doing a workflow video. We're going to use it to set when the user changes a record. We're going to set the time and date that this was done and record the user. It's a kind of a useful tool that's something that crops up now and again. And although you can do it easily in JavaScript, I just thought I would run through it using workflows, so we can just have a go with those. And this is something that will happen sometimes. A customer will ask the same for you, and then they might want it as a workflow so that they can change it, or a consultant can change it, or someone who hasn't got programming skills. So we're going to do it on the account form. We're going to have to create a couple of fields, so we'll go to our solution, so all our changes are held in there. So I've got the account in my solution already. There's a plugin that we created previously. Alright, let's open the account form up. Get a little bit to fit in there. Right, so we're going to create a new field, one to record the date and time. So date and time changed. So there you can see my prefix HOSC. So I'm just changing it there to be date and time rather than just date, because we want the date field to show as well, the time field, sorry. So we'll save that. And then we also want a lookup to the user field so we can see who changed it. Now a tip for you here is when you do a lookup field, put ID on the end so that when developers can see the field, they'll know that the ID basically means this is a lookup, and in code terms this is an entity reference, which usually means it has the GUID and the entity name, entity type, and so putting ID means it just kind of lets you know that that is a lookup field. That's good practice. So we've got those. So custom fields, we put it there. So we're going to save and publish. So they now should be on the account form. So what's going to happen when we're going to create a workflow that's going to be triggered when the primary contact is assigned or set a value, not assigned. When the primary contact has a value set to it, we're going to record the time this happened and the user who did it. So you go to processes. It's a new one. Call it something like set time date user. Now here we're creating a workflow and it's on the account entity. You've got run in the background. This means workflows run in the background means that they run whenever the CRM service schedules them to run. Then this could be a few seconds, it could be 30 seconds or a minute. That's the only kind of thing with workflows, is that they literally get run when the CRM service has enough resource to do that. There is a new feature in CRM 2013 which will run straight away. So if we untick this, it should run synchronously. Here we've got the different scopes: user, business unit. We'll just have it organization, so when anyone changes it. And here we want to select when a particular field is changed, and in this case it's primary contact. So here, so in the primary, see, and you can see that they use CRM has also puts the ID on any lookup field. It puts ID on the end, so you know that's a lookup. So what you should do when you add lookups in, also put ID, so we're keeping it similar. So also now, so this is one of the new features within CRM 2013, is that you can either choose to have the workflows run in the background, scheduled when the CRM service sees fit, or you can run straight away, which makes them similar to a workflow, a plugin. Apart from, obviously, you don't need to be a coder to do that. You can just do it as you would a normal workflow. And also you've got execute as owner of the workflow. So if you want to if you want the workflow to run as a user with higher privileges, you could have the owner of the workflow. He could be a CRM admin, or you could have the user. Obviously, if the user doesn't have, if you want the workflow to do something where most users wouldn't have privileges to, you might want to up it to the owner there. So there's no check conditions here, because we know it's going to be triggered when the field changes. So we just want to update the record. So we want to go to account, and so time and date. Now here, see, this is where actually this sort of functionality is not that obvious. It's obvious once you know where it is, but to find the sort of when this process, it's called a process time basically of it's called the process time. It's the process time of when the workflows actually run. But if you didn't know that, it'd be hard to guess. And even here, I was just looking and I couldn't find it, thinking, I guess you could use modified on. And you might think, why don't I just use modified on? It's because someone might have changed something else, and we don't want to use that to trigger the change. Although then the modified on would it have the time? I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. Process execution time. Add that, and then OK that, and then so basically what's going to happen is that when the workflow was processed, that time is now going to be logged there, and we're going to set this to user changed. No. So I'm going to set this one to modified by user, so the user who is doing the modifying, we're going to set that there. Another interesting thing actually here is it used to be very hard to work out how to clear a value, but now they've made that a little bit easier. Okay, so we've got here user change, so the user who's modified by, and the execution time, so that should set the time there. Yep, so now we're going to activate that. There you go. That is now activated. So we're going to close that. I'm going to go back now to the form of the account, and I'm going to set those two fields to be read-only. So basically what this means is that people can't go in and change those automatically. So if you ever have to set a read-only field using a workflow, the trick is to go into the form, make them not read-only, write the workflow. You better select those fields, you better update them and change them in the workflow, and then you set them back to be read-only. The workflow will still work as normal, it won't break, and then you can now set read-only fields in a workflow whilst the rest of the users can't set those. So the only people who can set these fields is my workflow now, unless you write some code to do that. So I'm going to save and publish that. I think I did. Yep. So we'll close. I need to go into the account form. My easy navigate. So we'll go to an account I created. It's got a funny name. Now this has got, so these are read only, you can't set those. So we're going to see if this works. I'm going to set that. So we'll see if press there. So there we go, we can see that it did occur a bit later, and you can see that the date 4th of the 7th, 7th of the 4th, so we're an American date, but it set it and the time as well. So we'll go to another account. This one hasn't. So although this runs straight, this runs the workflow, it doesn't see. Oh, I guess it's because this is the thing actually, because CRM 2013 has its autosave, there's no actual place to save anything. So it runs after so many 30 seconds, and then it updates those values. So I'm not sure if, because I've changed that to the same value. Okay, so I did just pause it there and it finally kick in. So we're going to go for one more. You used to be able to see how workflows ran in here, but I'm not quite sure where I should be looking. It's not up here. It's not there. Okay, so we'll go for one more account. So I'm guessing that should, because I've blanked that, that should also work. So we're going to sit and watch this for a second. So I've made a change, I guess it should save. Oh, so there we go, 11:49. and it works. So there we go. So that is a workflow to save the current time and the user who changed the primary contacts. You know that whenever someone's changed that, this will just record it for you. There we go. Okay, so finally, I was wondering why I didn't keep records of process sessions. Now, you can log down every time a workflow is run. You can see the details. Sometimes it's good for debugging, so you can see kind of what level it's gotten down to. But here it's a workflow log retention. I'm only keeping logs for workflow jobs that have encountered errors. So every time it's successfully run, and this one is very difficult for it not to successfully run. Either we change that field and it runs, or it doesn't, doesn't do anything, and it only updates a couple of fields. So, and the values we definitely have. So it's not really going to crash this one unless there was some kind of problems with the back end. So that's why here we're not actually getting any logs today. But so let's just solve that little puzzle for me. Right, okay, that's it today. It's just a quick little workflow, new CRM functionality. We're running it as a sort of a workflow that runs straight away, not in the black background. So it's a bit of new functionality. And we've gone through, so we've changed workflow, we've changed fields that are read-only. We've made them read-only now, and we've used the process time of the workflow to record the time of when the workflow is ran, and changed it to that field. Okay, ta-ra for